Hey guys, China Pace here. Today's video, I want to talk about writing insecurities. In particular, what to do when you feel like your writing is terrible. Because it's something we all feel at some point in our writing journeys. Usually multiple times. For me, that's like once a day, if that. Usually more like 50 times a day. So, writing insecurities are no joke at all. They happen at the most horrible times. Actually, every time to feel a writing insecurity is a horrible time. But there are some things I think we can do to sort of stave off those writing insecurities. Some little tips that might help us when those doubts arise. And the first one is to read the reviews on some of your favorite authors. Actually read the negative reviews on some of your favorite authors. Now you might think, why would I want to read the negative reviews of my favorite authors, China? I already know I love the book. Because if you read the negative reviews on your favorite book or a book by your favorite author, you will see that everything that you love about this book or this particular author will be something that someone else absolutely hates. And you'll be shocked. You'll be like, what? That is exactly what I love about that book or this author. I can't believe you hate it. And it will help you realize that writing and good writing is so subjective. Everybody has their own idea of what makes a good book. I talked about this in my last writing pep talk when I was urging you guys to stop criticizing your writing. And this is part of it because we need to understand that whether or not our writing is good, first of all, it should be decided by us first. We need to love our work and to think our work is good and to think highly of our writing and to love it and be in love with it. One of my favorite authors, Ray Bradbury, actually my favorite author of all time, he said in one of his interviews that it has to be all about loves in this world. You can't go without love. You have to be in love with your writing. And I absolutely agree with that because all throughout our career, we will have people that don't like our work. But if we love our work and if we decide for ourselves that our writing is good, then we won't get so caught up in self-doubt because we'll just decide with ourselves that no matter what, no matter how we feel on a particular day, no matter what some expert in the field says, or no matter how we feel compared to this really successful author, we're going to decide for ourselves that our writing has worth and value and that it's awesome. Not just good, but awesome, because it is. So, first of all, just decide with yourself that you love your writing, that you think your writing is great. And then look up some of the negative reviews of your favorite books or favorite authors and just remind yourself that you can't please everyone. You can't really even pin down what makes a good book because you think a good book is this and some other person says that book is crap. So there's no right or wrong answer here. And if there's no right or wrong answer here, then you're free to just have fun and write what you want and enjoy what you write and not get so caught up in whether or not it's any good. The second tip I have for you when you feel your writing is terrible is just to read some of your past work. Because I don't know if you guys are like this, but I have found that when I feel my writing insecurities the most, it's always when I'm working on my current manuscript. When I'm working on the first draft of a certain book and I'm deep into that particular story and the day-to-day grueling process of putting words on the page, that's when my writing insecurities tend to rise the most. First of all, I convince myself that that particular book is terrible. And then I proceed to say that all the other books were horrible. But I have found that if I take my eyes off that current manuscript that's giving me so much insecurity, and I take a look back at one of my past books, I'll actually surprise myself by some of the things I wrote, some of the things that at the time I thought were so awful. And now, looking at them with fresh eyes, I'm like, this is actually good. This is actually what I wanted it to sound like and read like. So if you ever find yourself in the midst of a draft and you just feel like everything you're putting on the page is just awful, just take a step back from that particular book and look at something else you've written in the past. You know, another novel or a short story or some other piece of writing that, you know, you have some distance from. If you look at it, I promise you, you'll actually surprise yourself. That happened to me just recently. I'm working on the 5th book in my series right now, but I'm also editing book 3 on the side, and when I first started editing book 3 about a week ago, I was expecting, you know, a huge mess of a book, just awful, because, you know, when you're writing a manuscript, you feel like it's automatically bad. I don't know why that is, but you're writing it and you're like, oh man, this is just going to be so awful when it's done. I'm not going to be able to do anything with this. So I, of course, went through that with book 3. And now, you know, reading through it and editing it, I'm like, wow, just really pleasantly surprised. And, you know, it clears your head a bit of all of the negativity that comes from being deep into a manuscript. And it kind of gives you the opportunity to be like, okay, I actually can do some pretty cool things in my writing. And, you know, if I feel like this about this manuscript that I was worried about at that point in my life, then this current manuscript that's giving me so much problems will probably end up the same way. So it gives you a little bit of confidence, a little bit of relief, like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought. And the last thing I want to urge you guys to do when you feel your writing is terrible is just to push through it as best as you can and remind yourself that it's only a thought, it's only a feeling. You know, the insecurities that we feel, even if they do seem convincing, most of them, if not all of them, are highly unfounded and untrue. And they're only thoughts. They have no power to claim any truth over you or your work. So just feel those feelings, acknowledge them for what they are, feelings that will pass, that don't, you know, have any power over you. You can plow through them and you will feel better about your writing if you just keep going and tune out those insecurities and those critical voices as best as you can, and just remind yourself that you are a better writer than you realize. So that's it for today, guys. I hope this video encourages you, and I hope that the next time you feel these insecurities come on and when you feel like your writing is terrible, that you can just uplift yourself and remind yourself that your writing is great, you're great, your book is great, and if you just keep going and stay writing, it's all going to work out in the end. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment and all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!